Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am your girl, Molinda Jae, and I'm here to talk about a legal battle that is going on between 7 states in regards to water. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm about to share my screen. Ain't no time to waste here. But I do want to shout out all the folks who has been viewing my shorts so far. I have reached like over 5,000 views within the past probably like a couple of days or so, and that's in cahoots with the videos that I put out as well as the shorts. And I have to extend my gratitude, you all. Thank you. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this article because it's getting messy out here. This article is called "A Showdown Over Colorado River." Colorado River water to set in the stage for a high state legal battle. And this was written by Ella Nielsen from CNN, and it was posted as of yesterday, January 30th, 2023. All right, so the article, well, as you can see, this image here, this beautiful image of natural beauty is the Colorado River seen from atop from the historic Navajo Bridge on January 1st. Okay, and this was in courtesy by Getty Images. Now, further on down the article, it reads, CNN, months of bitter negotiations between 7 states that rely on the Colorado's vanishing water have collapsed, along with a clear fault line over the past week. California versus everyone. The multi-state talks, which have been going on in fits and starts for months, were focused on achieving unprecedented water cuts to save the Colorado River, a system that provides water and electricity to more than 40 million people in the West. As less and less water has been flowing through the river and its reserves, the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation Commissioner Camille Toton last year called on the Basin's 7 states, who is California, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming, to figure out how to cut 2 to 4 million acre feet of usage, or as much as 30% of their river water allocation. If they couldn't agree on how to do it, Touton vowed the federal government would step in, and y'all don't want them to step in, okay? Especially not now. On Monday, 6 states, including lower basin states of Arizona and Nevada, released a letter and proposed a model for how much Colorado river water they will potentially cut to stave off a collapse and prevent the nation's largest reserve, which is Lake Mead and Powell, from hitting DEAD pool, okay? When water levels will be too low to flow through the dams. The maximum amount of the basin-wide cuts in the 6 states are proposing in their model is 3.1 million acre feet per year. It accounts for water conservation and evaporation, and if improved, could kick in if reserve levels fall to catastrophically low conditions. California, the largest user of the Colorado River, is conspicuously absent from the text and will release its own letter and model calling for more modest annual cuts of around 1 million acre feet later this week. J.P. Hamby, the chair of Colorado River Board for the state and Imperial Integration District Board member, that's a big old title, but anyways, told CNN, behind the rift is a decades-long rancorous relationship between California and Arizona. So California and Arizona, the girls are fighting, okay? That has collided with river system in crisis due to years of overuse and climate change fueled drought. The split between California and the 6 other basin states raises the likelihood that the water battle could end up in the nation's highest courts, which is the Supreme Court, especially if the feds propose steep cuts from California and its powerful water districts believe their senior water rights are under threat. The Imperial Integration District provides water to Southern California farmers and has senior right to Colorado River, a priority claim because it was established before other districts and states' rights. So, in other words, the Southern California farmers are grandfathered into, and they have seniority over the usage of the Colorado River. Okay. Also, it states the lack of consensus and 6 states moving forward with an approach that does not harmonize with the law is troubling, Hamby says. It is everyone's best interest to avoid litigation, but being put into a situation like this where you have 6 states approaching things in this way raises the risk. And here you see this image of the Colorado River. Yes, the Colorado River Basin. And it says the Colorado River provides water and electricity to 40 million people in 7 states. Major aqueducts in lower basin carry water deep into Arizona and California for municipal use and agriculture. And you can see Southern California here at this bottom here. And then there's the aqueduct. I believe that's how you pronounce that. And then there's the Coachella Canal and the American Canal. And then you have the Central Arizona Project over here on the side in the Arizona. And then this blue strip of line here, we're going through the old map days. That is the Colorado River flowing through 7 states: California, Nevada. I don't think Utah. Yes, Utah is up in that thing. Colorado is definitely up in that thing. And let's see. And Wyoming. Yeah, here's Wyoming here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I don't think it said New Mexico up in that article. But if it is, yeah, that they're in there a little bit, possibly. Okay. Furthermore, down the article, it says, in the meantime, one of the West's most important water sources will continue to dry up. I think California is playing with fire here, said David Haynes, a former top climate aide to President Joe Biden. Now at Stanford University Law School, this issue is bigger than any group of water rights holders. The implication of not addressing this issue could affect the economy of the entire state of California. As state consensus provides difficult to reach and pressure grows on the federal government to act unilaterally, many negotiators and outside observers are expecting this year to bring litigation that could wind up at the Supreme Court, as I stated earlier. When they mean the high courts, they mean the Supreme Court. I don't know if the Supreme Court would take it. Wade Noble, a lawyer representing Yuma, Arizona, our farmers in irrigation districts, told CNN, I suspect everybody who has been lawyering up wants to make sure their legal team has a Supreme Court experience. There are the types of issues that can get there. Ooh. Are y'all trying to say this can get down and dirty? Okay. Priority versus reality. And here, this image is the All-American Canal that carries water from the Colorado River to Southern California, where the farmers are located. Further down the article, it says the issue at heart of why it has been difficult for California and Arizona to agree on water cuts comes down to priority. It is legally first in line for water, then cuts occur. Imperial Integration District seniors right entitled it to use just over 3 million acre feet of Colorado River water every year. the same amount of water as Arizona and Nevada's entire allocations combined. Arizona agreed to a junior water right in 1968 in exchange for building the Arizona Project, Central Arizona Project, a system of canals that divert Colorado River water to cities and agriculture from Phoenix to Tucson. That means historically, Arizona has been the first in line for cuts, while California's rivers allocations has been left untouched. Arizona has more recently argued that the future cuts needs to be spread around more evenly rather than cities like Phoenix and Tucson getting cut to zero. We need all water users to be able to look at the real issue on the river right now, said Brenda Berman, general manager of the Central Arizona Project and former Bureau of Reclamation commissioner in the Trump administration. When you look at how this river has shrunk, when you look how much less water there is in the river than any of us have ever thought, you have to say everyone who receives a benefit from this infrastructure needs to be willing to put some water on the table. And as you can see, this image here is the sun setting on shrinking Lake Mid in April 2020, where water has declined to levels not seen since the reservoir was filled after the construction of the Hoover Dam. Lastly, but the senior water right is one of the Imperial Integration District plans to staunchly defend. We're now going to give up a century of history and position and things that people work for over a country to protect in 2 days, Hamby said of a recent negotiation. Doing away with the priority approach is not something that's acceptable. Experts said that arguments over senior water users that have the oldest right may run into the reality that the river system is crashing quickly. 100-year-old agreement is not necessarily going to be around for another 100 years, and the whole system could get blown up, said Haynes said. Hayes said. Hayes added he fears possible future litigation would delay need of action on the river. Decisions to cut back water deliveries below the Hoover Dam cannot wait for a complex water rights case to be litigated up through the Supreme Court. That can take years, especially when we go through administration every 4 years, Hayes said. Plus, no legal decision will solve the fundamental problem of insufficient water. That reality needs to be faced. So that concludes the article, y'all. What I'm getting from this here as a whole is infrastructure. Infrastructure problem, okay? Infrastructure problem. Mayday, mayday, mayday on the ground. So as stated before, like I said, within the article, it says 7 states are at stake in regards to the water supplies that fuels over 40 million people. 40 million. So the 7 states, let's go back. The 7 states that are affected is California, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming. And they got to figure out how to cut 2 to 4 million acre feet of usage, or as much as 30% of their river water allocation. So, because they saying the nation's largest reservoirs, which is Lake Mid and Powell, they are at its wit's end. And I do recall seeing a snippet of a report of a journalist visiting there, and they were hinting then at the time about the water levels and the climate change and the drought. that these states are facing, and it's due to, it's causing the bare necessity, one of the bare necessities, which is water, because we cook with it, we clean with it, we wash ourselves with it, we drink it, we consume it. The bare necessity, one of the bare necessities is at stake right now. And the only two, it seems like the rest of the states, they're willing to agree to disagree, but you got two states over here. So you got two, you basically got two states versus everyone. But within the article, it says it's California versus everyone, because California, it is the biggest state out of the 7, right? And of course, therefore, they will need more water. And then a lot of agriculture is in California as well. So that's another thing. And at the same time, Arizona and California, they're like the grandfathers of the bunch, and they have seniority over the bunch. And it just seems like there's like a battle between the egos, per se, because again, at the end of the day, it's not about y'all. Is not about y'all two states, even though a majority of the agriculture comes from those two states. You got 5 other states that is in need of water supplies, and once the two, California and Arizona, meets their quota of water consumption or water allocation, then that leads with the other states having to they have to cut even further than what they have right now. Okay, so this is a big issue. This is very concerning, because if they can't solve this out without litigation, then that means the state the government will step in. And like I said before, you don't want the government to step in, because anything can happen on that end. And then at the same time, you got infrastructure that is crashing day by day. Like, yes, the infrastructure is at its all-time low. All right, we got other states beside these 7 states. We got other states that can't even withstand winter storms that come through. You got other states that can't withstand high temps, okay, that could cause blackouts and transformer explosions and all sorts of things. And then you got other states that are dealing with this water allocation right now, to where was more like, okay, do we keep the policy going for us, like the being grandfather in the seniority, or start fresh? That way all the states can get water allocated and as equally as possible. Of course, one is going to have more than the other because of the population that they hold within their state, but at least it won't leave to the other guys that don't have that seniority, not being able to use their water source because it's all used up from the previous couple of states, right? So with that being said, that's what I got from it. And that's probably why every single time there's a president being sworn in, they're always talking about infrastructure, this, but it never gets done. Well, at this point in time, something's got to get done, because as the infrastructure that was built back then is not able to withstand now, because of all the climate changing that's going on. The weather is being iffy. Mother Nature is really mad, and she is doing her thing out there. So with that being said, it's time for us to get ourselves together. It's time to get back to the basics. It's time to learn how to grow our own things, grow a community to where we can support one another in a healthy way, and let everybody eat at the same time, not having that crabs in the barrel mentality. Everything is not about you as an individual, the only way you worry about you as an individual is your own sanity, mentally, your own being, mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally, and financially. But if it affects not only you in a collective, then that is where we need to all put our brains together and tackle these issues very effectively, so we can be able to still have something, or still continue to lay the foundation for our children and our other children's and other further generations that come up behind us. Because at the end of the day, if we don't solve the issue now, then what difference is going to make in the next coming centuries? Okay, so with that being said, feel free to leave y'all comments down below. I thought this was a pretty informative article and situation to bring up, because when it's dealing with water, it's affecting the day-to-day activity for the individual and families as a whole. And of course, there is the breakdown of what has happened with the Tyree Nichols situation. That is getting ugly hour by hour, day by day, with whatever is coming of all the information that is coming down the pipeline from that standpoint. But for this one right here, I want to hear your thoughts about the situation. Let me know that you are from those areas, and if you are already experiencing those I wouldn't say blackouts, but the water preservation. There we go. The water preservation. Do y'all have a time limit, or do you still, or don't have a time limit? Just let me know down in the comment section down below. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Hit that notification bell so you know the next time I upload a video. And always remember to love thyself, know thyself, soothe thyself, so you can heal thyself. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.